Hello, my friends. Welcome to Bible and Revelations. Today's episode 41 is on Genesis 22. And let's get right to it. I won't waste your time. Well, it's nice in here now. It's winter. It started a couple days ago. It was 20 degrees last night, and it's 40 degrees right now outside. This is how I like it. Very comfortable. Okay. Genesis 22. Abraham's faith is confirmed. Now, it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, Take now your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son. And he split the wood for the burnt offering, and arose, and went to the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey. The lad and I will go yonder and worship, and we will come back to you. So Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and the 2 of them went together. But Isaac spoke to Abraham, his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. Then he said, Look, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Let's try this version. Here I am, my son. So he continued, Here are the fire and the wood, but where is the sheep for the burnt offering? To this Abraham said, God will provide himself the sheep for the burnt offering, my son. And both of them walked on together. Finally, they reached the place that the true God had designated to him. And Abraham built an altar there. And Abraham built an altar there, and set the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son hand and foot, and put him on top the altar, and on top of the wood. Then Abraham put out his hand, and took the slaughtering knife to kill his son. But Jehovah's angel began calling to him out of the heavens, saying, Abraham, Abraham. To which he answered, Here I am. And he went on to say, Do not put out your hand against the boy, and do not do anything at all to him. For now I do know that you are God-fearing, and that you have not withheld your son, your only one, from me. At that, Abraham raised his eyes, looked, and there, deep in the foreground, there was a ram caught by its horns in a thicket. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for the burnt offering in place of his son. And Abraham began to call the name of that place Jehovah-Jireh. That is why it is customarily said today, In the mountain of Jehovah it will be provided. And Jehovah's angel proceeded to call to Abraham the second time out of the heavens, and to say, By myself I do swear, is the utterance of Jehovah, that by reason of the fact that you have done this thing, and you have not withheld your son, your only one, I shall surely bless you, and I shall surely multiply your seed like the stars of the heavens, and like the grains of sand that are on the seashore. And your seed will take possession of the gate of his enemies. And by means of your seed, all nations of the earth will certainly bless themselves due to the fact that you have listened to my voice. After that, Abraham returned to his attendants, and they got up and went their way together to Beersheba. And Abraham continued to dwell at Beersheba. Now it came about after these things that the report got through to Abraham. Here Micah herself has also borne sons to Nahor, your brother, Uz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram, and Chesed, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Jidlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel became the father of Rebekah. These eight Milcah bore to Nahor, the brother of Abraham. There was his concubine too, whose name was Rumah. In time she herself also gave birth to Tabah and Gaham, and Tahash, and Makah. That's the end of Genesis 22. There's some notes of interest. From our perspective, God's command to Abraham is horribly cruel. One scholar has written that in this chapter, Abraham begins a journey into God's forsakenness. It begins with God calling Abraham's name. God then uses words of increasing emotional significance to issue his instruction. Take now your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love. Each phrase pierces closer to Abraham's heart. The Hebrew word used here for only son is Yahid, but an unusual term for something that is unique and irreplaceable. It is translated in the Greek version of the Hebrew Bible by monogenes, rendered sometimes as only begotten. The very word that is used of Jesus in the New Testament, in John 1, verse 14. Ishmael was a beloved and honored son of Abraham, but Isaac was Yahid, the uniquely born son of Abraham and Sarah, and was so named monogenes in Hebrews 11:17. And Jesus, he is monogenes. He is the one whose conception is an even greater miracle than that of Isaac. Two sons, one of Abraham and one of God. Each was only begotten. Each was priceless. Yes, there is many scholars say that the Old Testament and the New Testament have the same theme, and of the only begotten Son going up for sacrifice, and Jesus, God's only begotten Son, going up for sacrifice. There's a lot of themes that coincide and match. And they say the Old Testament is proclaiming that Jesus is coming in these mirror images and mirrored stories of the same elements with just different people, different names, and different times. Let's start some of the... I want to tell you to try to keep a good attitude, and remember your physique. Try to, if you're something bad happens, try to force yourself to smile and focus on something good, something in the future, the rapture, or your goal. Let's say your goal is to get a better job and make sure your family has a bigger house or something. Oh, I gotta go. This is, I have to stop here. God bless you. Please subscribe. Email ozarkhunger@gmail.com.